This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers thousands of documentaries and non-fiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals like Stalking Hitler's Generals, when Allied commandos launched daring wartime missions to kill or capture German generals, and Secret Societies, organizations that play a far larger role in our everyday lives than most of us realize. From the Illuminati to Freemasons and Skull and Bones. Go to curiositystream.com/Mark Felton for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and non-fiction series. And for our fans, use the promo code Mark Felton and you will save 25% off, which comes to only $14.99 a year. That's just $1.25 per month. For the very best in history programming, choose CuriosityStream. With Germany's surrender in 1918 at the end of World War I, its army and naval air forces were progressively destroyed by order of the Allies. Thousands of aircraft were simply chopped up and burned, with their engines and other metal parts recycled for scrap. The Versailles Treaty of 1919 forbade Germany from possessing military aircraft of any type except for 100 unarmed seaplanes and flying boats retained for searching out sea mines. Many German aircraft were also handed to the Allied nations as war prizes, but a few people in Germany realized that their aviation heritage should be preserved in some form or other, chief among them World War I flying ace Hermann Göring. Goring, who was number 2 in Nazi Germany after Adolf Hitler and head of the Luftwaffe, the wartime air force, had been a very successful fighter pilot in the Great War, flying with the Red Baron's famous squadron, the Flying Circus, and commanding the unit after Baron von Richthofen's death in 1918. To describe Göring as a collector is an understatement. When in power in the 1930s and 40s, he collected vast amounts of looted art and antiques from across Europe, kept exotic animals at his many luxurious residences, had 2 enormous model train sets, and maintained a fine collection of expensive cars. Small wonder that the former World War I ace was also interested in collecting aircraft. Over the years, he amassed a fine collection of both German and Allied planes from World War I, and a few captured during Germany's World War II campaigns in the West and the Soviet Union. The entire collection was placed on public display in hangars near Berlin's railway station. But in 1943, an Allied bombing raid struck the area and many of the exhibits were destroyed. Among the planes destroyed was the world's last Fokker DR-1 triplane that had been built in 1932 using parts from remaining World War I airframes. A concerned Göring ordered the remaining aircraft evacuated east out of range of Allied bombers. The aircraft had their wings chopped off and were unceremoniously packed into trains, with up to a dozen such transports moving these valuable aircraft east to Pomerania, in what is now northwest Poland, or to the General Government, as Western Poland was called. The trains, loaded down with their precious cargoes, were hidden in a forest near Poznan in present-day Poland, and it seems forgotten during the Red Army's 1945 offensive towards Berlin. Polish units of the Red Army discovered the abandoned wagons and the dismantled aircraft in the forest. Though they had the aircraft, the Poles didn't do anything with the collection for decades. Göring's museum was moved around Poland from storeroom to storeroom until in 1963 it was given a permanent home at the Polish Aviation Museum in the city of Krakow. Nearly every aircraft was missing its wings, and many of the airframes were in poor condition. Little restoration was undertaken. The restoration was slight, the fuselages remaining in the same condition today as they were found in 1945. But the rarity of the collection is staggering. Just 70 World War I planes remain in existence today, and 13 of them are now in Krakow. They include a Roland D-6, the only one left today. A complete Sopwith Camel, one of only 5 left in the world, built in Lincoln in 1918 to serve with the Royal Naval Air Service and later the Royal Air Force. This particular aircraft served with 2 different squadrons and chalked up 11 kills in air-to-air combat. There is an Albatros C-1, a DFW C-5, an LVG B-2 and a Halberstadt CL-2. This particular aircraft belonged to the commanding general of the German World War I Air Service. And an Aviatik C-3. It is really quite extraordinary that these fragile aircraft managed to survive Allied bombing, rough handling by German personnel, and years of being shunted around communist Poland. For what remains of Hermann Göring's aircraft collection is today one of the finest groups of Great War planes you can see anywhere in the world. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon, details in the description box below.